Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about something that I feel like a lot of people, or just like different variations of this, have ended up in my comment section, and that's like feeling like a fraud, feeling like a fake, feeling inauthentic. And I think especially people that are in their early 20s, or even a teenager, or even 20s in general, when you're in your 20s, as someone who just hit my quarter life, so to speak, I am 25. You know, I've had 5 years of being in my 20s. And I understand that completely, especially with social media. And this is kind of a narrative that has been going on in a few of my videos lately, but you look at people and it's easy to be envious of others, especially when you feel like they have figured something out about life that you just haven't figured out. And you know, it's kind of something that when it comes to me, the people that I think make me feel like that the most are introverted feelers. As an INFJ, with, you know, extroverted feeling as my secondary function, my creative function, we are very good at extroverted feeling, obviously. We're also good at introverted feeling, but we don't value it as much. So we're more concerned about the whole. We're more concerned about society and balance, whereas introverted feelers are not so concerned about those things. And if you're like an INFP and ISFP, especially, who leads with introverted feeling, or you're an ENFP or an ESFP, you are able to, I find those people to be very inspirational to me in a sense. And I don't know if you're an introverted feeler or not, if you're watching this, but I've always described it as they have their own thing going on. It's like they live in their own world. They do things because they want to do them. And that's not always the case, but that's kind of the way, you know, I view it. One of the people that, it's really a shame, I've never really talked about this story, but there was a girl, and if you're friends with me, well, especially during this time, then you'll know who I'm talking about. There was a girl that I was friends with in my junior year of college, which was 2014 to 2015. And she is an INTJ. And I, just like so many other people, saw her and I personally looked up to her a lot because she had her own sense of style. She had amazing handwriting. She was super talented at French. You know, I still think she's beautiful, talented, creative, all of those things. And it's a shame because, well, I'm not gonna actually I feel like I am teasing people by not telling that story, but basically I regarded her as a friend, and I don't think she, you know, in the end, I don't think that the friendship was, well, we're not friends anymore. But the point of me bringing her up is I noticed that with her as an INTJ, my sister as an ISTJ, and so many other introverted feelers, INFPs especially. I've seen this so many times. ENFPs, those people really draw that out of me and make me feel like, wow, how are they able to do this? And maybe you are an introverted feeler, and maybe you feel that way about extroverted feelers. But on a human level, going back to just the general sense, it's an interesting thing because we see these people who we are so inspired of, maybe envious of, and we see how authentic they are. But at the end of the day, I think just like everybody else, you know, it's not something that happens overnight for them necessarily. Maybe if you're an introverted feeler, it comes more naturally to you, but it's something that you develop, and you shouldn't feel discouraged if you don't feel like you're at that point. I think what makes people interesting, what makes people authentic, well, first of all, is to be yourself. But I also think that you should be an improved version of yourself. I think you should constantly be learning, educating yourself, putting yourself outside of your comfort zone, traveling, doing those kind of things, because just doing that stuff, you're going to get more confidence and you're going to feel more competent. And the confidence loop leads to you feeling more authentic, more in tune with yourself. And when it comes to like style, personal style, or maybe a hobby that you want to be competent at, you have to put in some research, you have to put in some work. Let's say you really want to become an astrophysicist. You're going to have to do a lot of studying. You're going to have to leaf through tons of books and Google and, you know, all different types of research tools and peer reviews to get to a point where you're truly competent in that. You don't have to be the best at it, but if that's what you want to be something that kind of molds you into the person that you yourself are, but also how you're perceived to others, I think it's worth it. And emulating people, or even in a sense copying those people around you, becoming kind of a copycat. If you see something that you like about someone, start putting that into your life. And don't do it in a sense that you act especially if it's like a creative thing, or if it's someone's intellectual property. I'm having trouble speaking. You don't want to just rip someone off and like claim it as your own. But I think there's a lot of value in emulating the people that inspire you, who you feel like have success in whatever you want to be defined as. And not doing it in the exact same way, but looking at something. Let's say you want to really get good at photography, but you want to have your own unique, way of taking photos. Then maybe look at like a handful of photographers, look on Instagram, look at photos, and think, how did they take this shot? What angle did they take it from? What kind of editing software did they use? How did they edit it? Just think about all of those things. Think of the reason why, and how. And coming to those conclusions, you're able to craft something that could be unique to you. it's so funny because when it comes to things like that, you don't have to be an expert. But as long as you know more than someone else, you're able to bring value. Even me. So I never claim to be the person that knows every single thing about MBTI or every single thing about socionics. I do know a ton. I don't have all of the details that I used to have when I first got into it and I really put in some time. But that's something that I'm going to go back to and become more specific with. But I know it enough that it's almost second nature to me. And that's why I talk about those kind of things. And I think if you have something that you're interested in, I think YouTube is a really great way to capture it. Oh, capture. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I always go into these videos because I don't ever script them. If you're new to my channel, as of late, I've been basically coming up with an idea, filming it in my car right now I'm wearing a very warm sweater because it's not that cold outside, but it was cold this morning. And then after this, I'm just gonna upload this to YouTube. And that's not, my ideal setup. Definitely, I mean, as awesome as this car is, I say with very sarcastic tones in my voice, I'm gonna have a better setup and better camera or just technological devices besides just my phone and YouTube. And I do, but that's another thing. It's like with YouTube, people think, oh, I need to just have these perfect videos, I need to have this aesthetic, I need to have all those things. Trust me, I have many ideas for the future, but I want to do them a little bit more justice than, being in my car. But I think that this isn't too bad. Like, yeah, it's not the most cinematic, but it's also, it's just me being me. And I post it, and even if one person finds value in it, my job is done. But in the meantime, I have these ideas, I have these things, and it's just like anybody else. If you're wanting to start a YouTube channel, you don't have to feel like, I know it might seem like you're a fraud or like inauthentic at first to post videos, especially if you feel like, oh, this isn't exactly what I want. This is not the setup that I want. I don't like filming in my car. It's okay. Like, you can always get better. And in fact, I find it very inspiring to look back on old videos, especially from really successful YouTubers, and just see that, oh wait, they kind of started the same way I did. And I don't know how I got into YouTube, but like this YouTube subject on authenticity, but I think it kind of ties in. At the end of the day, if you want to do something and if you feel like you're being inauthentic in some way, do something about it. And again, it's like, well, duh, but actually do something about it. Look up videos on YouTube. Look up things online. Look at people in your life that you're inspired by. Ask people questions, have conversations about it, and actually do the actions. If you really want to do something, don't just twiddle your thumbs and think about it for, 5, 6 years, 7, 8 years, like me when it comes to YouTube, but actually do it. And you may not be perfect. You may not, if it comes to personal fashion and you're wanting to incorporate a different type of fashion or whatever it is, you may look like a loser for the first even year of trying this certain fashion, but at some point you're gonna get the hang of it and you'll get feedback from people, what works, what doesn't work, because even those people that you looked up to as the, authentic or creative or whatever kind of people that you want to be, those things don't always work for you, and they certainly didn't start off, out of the womb with this certain vibe that they have now. People go through stages, people change all the time. So I hope that this video, helps you in any way, and if you like my videos, please subscribe and like this video, because again, I'm going to hopefully sooner than later, and I know I've said this, we just haven't moved yet, but once I do move, it is gonna be like night and day when it comes to setup. And I have so many ideas, so many things, and again, if you have any ideas for videos, I'm always up for those. I may not get to them right away, some of them I do, but trust me, I write them down and I think about them, and I do intend on making them. Also, if you want to be interviewed by me, or if you want to interview myself, I'd be up for it. I've had a few people ask me if they can interview me, which I think is, an awesome, it's an honor to me, that you guys want to interview me. I really think it's cool, because I love interviewing people. I love getting other people's perspectives, and I think it's cool that, you're interested in hearing something that, well, I guess my point of view. Because I think just human interaction, even if it's through a computer screen or a phone screen or whatever screen, I think it's valuable. Especially if you don't have those people in your everyday life physically that you are able to talk to on a deeper level like that. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.